Hello everyone, and welcome back to another Helm to Tower video. The Solstice summer seasonal event has started in Destiny 2, and I wanted to kind of go over it because it seems like there is a little bit of confusion about how this updated seasonal event works. It's a little different from previous years, and it is also a free-to-play activity for all players to jump in and play. So some people who are newer to the game and don't fully understand some of the mechanics and things might be a little overwhelmed with what's going on this time with Solstice. So I thought I'd break some of it down to hopefully make a little bit more sense to you, as well as go over some of the other interesting things that they have updated with, like the new game mode that has kind of shifted from what it has been in previous years. So let's get into it. So with any seasonal event in Destiny 2, the first thing you're going to want to do is go to Ava Levante in the tower. Once you talk to her, she will give you this fancy schmancy armor that is a part of the event. This is the Incandescent Armor set. It's pretty nice looking, and the whole thing with it is you can upgrade the armor set by doing the new activity, as long as collecting some different currencies to then upgrade said armor, which also lets you re-roll the actual stats on the armor itself, so you can kind of set it if you want to get more resilience or get more intellect or other various stat bonuses. You can actually re-roll it with this new system for the seasonal event. But to do that, you do need to collect a bunch of currencies, as with everything in Destiny these days. But let me go ahead and break down kind of the main kind of currencies and things you'll be doing to acquire those. So there's three main currencies you need to know about that are tied specifically to the seasonal event, and that is kindling, silver leaves, and silver ash. Kindling will come from the seasonal event challenges. These are new challenges they've kind of introduced. They kind of work like the weekly challenges that you get every week, but now they are just all fully available as long as the seasonal event is going. So basically from, since Solstice started this week and up until the end of the event, which is sometime in the middle of August. Basically, you have till then to complete these challenges, and as you complete each one, you unlock a piece of kindling, which is a currency you'll use to kind of upgrade the armor itself. Second, other currencies, like I said, are silver leaves and silver ash. Silver leaves you can acquire by just doing pretty much any activity in the game to acquire them, as long as you're wearing that special armor set that is a part of the event. So you can run strikes, you can play Crucible matches, Gambit matches, Trials of Osiris matches, you can do Nightfalls, you can go to even just any destination and do public events or lost sectors. Any kind of event or activity that is in the game will drop these, as long as you are doing the, or as long as you're wearing the special armor set for the summer event. Once you've collected a handful of silver leaves, I recommend getting at least like 20 or so. You can hold up to about 100 silver leaves, so if you want to, you can max them out before you jump into the other event to get the other currency. You can do that if you'd like, but the other currency is silver ash, and in order to acquire that, you will need to do the actual seasonal event activity called Bonfire Bash. Bonfire Bash is kind of an updated seasonal event from previous years of Solstice, where you run around this big European aerial zone. You'll see it in the gameplay here, and basically bosses and various bosses are spawning around the arena, and once you defeat them, they drop this little light ball of light that you pick up and have to throw at this bonfire in the center of the map. If you throw up to 20 of those, you will maximize the amount of silver ash you can obtain from a match. And that's basically how that conversion works. Is if you have 20 silver leaves and you've dunked 20 of those light balls, you can get a maximum of 100 silver ash at the end of that Bonfire Bash. And that's like the max you can kind of get if you want to min-max kind of the acquisition of all of these various currencies and stuff. But to put it simply, you want to wear the Incandescent Armor set, do various activities in the game like strikes or Crucible, Gambit, just whatever you want to do. That'll get you silver leaves. Then you want to take those silver leaves and then go do the Bonfire Bash, which will convert those leaves into silver ash. And then the silver ash and the kindling you will get from completing the event challenges, you will then slot into armor slots that are on this special incandescent slot, which will then allow you to upgrade it further. So you basically will put the kindling in, and then you put the silver ash in, and then that'll essentially be a re-roll stat of that armor. And you can do it a certain amount of times I think it's about 3 total times, and then once you do it the last time, you will see the armor changes and it gets this nice cool white glow that you put on the armor, and that stays on specifically that armor set. You can then wear and look cool with some cool fancy white glows. That's kind of the breakdown of what the seasonal event has you doing this year. It is a little different from last year, so I understand why it's maybe a little confusing. And I'd admittedly say some of the armor roll stuff, while it is I like the idea of it. Maybe there's, once again, maybe a little too many currency grinding needed to acquire that stuff when you can just do some Umbral Engram re-rolls and things like that as well in the game already. So it's an interesting change up from the last years at least. And I do like the seasonal event challenges. They kind of get you running around doing a lot more activities than you would normally during some of these seasonal events, so that's kind of nice. Change of pace for sure, but that's kind of all there is to it this season. For Solstice, I always do enjoy this activity compared to some of the other seasonal events, because I like the idea of kind of upgrading and making this cool armor and having these cool like glows and effects on the armor always look really nice in the game. They always do a really great job with those cool armor sets and their glows. And so yeah, that's Solstice 2022 for Destiny 2. Let me know what you're thinking of it so far, what kind of armor you're chasing and other things like that. It's been pretty okay so far, I think, as far as Destiny events go, and I'm very curious how they will kind of keep evolving these events over time, because I think they're starting to change them up a lot more than they have been in previous years, where through Destiny's couple years now, they've kind of been very similar each year, but now Solstice is getting a change. I'm hopeful that things like the Haunted, the Halloween event, and the Christmas events and things like that start changing up and varying themselves a little bit more than they have previously as well. So that's pretty exciting. Thanks everybody again for checking out another Helm to Tower video, and I'll see you next time.